Hello people, my name is Arya and I want to invite you all on my journey of learning how to use resin for the first time. Let's jump right into it. First, I am showing you all the molds I got from different corners of the internet. I also got stuff for making earrings and an absurd amount of glitter. Here are the pigments I got. They came together with a starter pack of resin from the website polyestershop.nl. And here's the main character of this video, the resin. These measuring cups also came with a starter pack. The ratio for this resin is 100 grams of resin and 60 grams of hardener. But I didn't want to use that much material, so I did some math so I could use as little as possible for my first try, since this material isn't cheap and I didn't want to waste it. I did 6 grams of resin and 3 grams of hardener. You can tell I was paranoid about wasting this material, yes. And I am glad to announce that this resin is odorless. I decided to do a little teardrop first and add blue powder pigment directly into it and swirl it around. And here comes the glitter because why not? I decided to use the red pigment now, since this is a color I will need a lot for future projects. From the beginning, I had a bit of a hard time with the red powder. I wasn't sure how much I should add to the resin. But hey, that is the reason why I decided to experiment first. I decided to add some glitter first this time, and then add the resin afterwards. This mold was very small and I had to get super close to it. I couldn't avoid my head being out of shot completely. I am using a bit of fire to eliminate any air bubbles. Okay, now I want to try the glitter that came in this fancy clear box. Oh no, I am going to be covered in glitter for the next week. I am now picking the remains of glitter on my table and using them for my next pouring. Side note, this is one of my favorite molds that I got. The wings look very pretty. Now I put these ones aside and let them cure. Okay, now I want to use the bigger molds so I can try to add some of these steampunkish gears that I bought. They're all a little bit bigger than I thought. I also got this very cool diamond mold, and you bet I am adding glitter to it. At this point, I decided to just go wild with the glittery confetti on all of my molds before mixing resin and deciding what color I wanted for each of them. For the diamonds, I totally wanted to use this flash silver pigment, hoping the result will be a shimmery clear diamond. While I was pouring this one, I realized that maybe the blue was darker than I'd intended it to be. I still wanted the pieces to look transparent, if you know what I mean. For the key molds and the piece that had the steampunk gears, I decided to mix this glittery bronze pigment. These two hard molds I bought specially for future Sailor Moon projects. I thought I could already make them, so I can hopefully start with them soon. And because I will need lots of little red gems, I decided to make those with the leftover resin. "24 hours later, it is time for me to check the cured resin. First, I start with the pretty wings. I like the look of these, but I immediately noticed that even though I used red pigment, the result ended up being more orange than red. I actually tried adding more pigment at some point to this little teardrop shape, for example, but then, as you can see, the gem turned too opaque and lost the transparency. Yep, that is too opaque. This is the Steampunk Gem, and as you can see, everything sinks to the bottom. Same problem with these blue ones. I added too much color and the transparency is completely gone. These little gems turn out better as they maintain their transparency. For sure, this is what I was going for. The keys look very promising. The mold is very thin, so I had to be a bit careful with them. They were a bit weak at the beginning, but eventually they got harder. Perhaps with this specific mold, I should wait a bit more for the curing process. And now the kitty cat. This one turned out very good. It was still transparent, but also it was more red than orange, which again was what I was going for. This is the very first piece I poured, aka the teardrop. Everything sank to the bottom, but I kind of like the look of it. What do you guys think? And I was very excited about the diamonds, but they too turned way more opaque than I intended them to be. Dang, I didn't expect the powder pigments to be so complicated to work with. I researched a lot about resin, but apparently not enough about pigments. The second group of gems that I did was without any glitter or gears on them, and I just used red pigment and was very careful not to add too much so it will still be transparent. But as you can see, everything turned out orange instead of red. The biggest irony ever is that the name of this pigment is actually True Red. On the other hand, I think I did a good job with the mixing process because the gems look very pretty. I am going to use red nail polish to try and make some of the new gems a little more red. I don't take credit for this idea, I have definitely seen it before, somewhere in my 5 years of cosplay life. I am just painting the back of some of the gems. I am also painting the small heart because I want to see how a more complicated shape looks like with a nail polish. And here are the gems after drying. They look very red and they also look very shiny. But of course, they do not look transparent anymore. Here is a moon shape I did with white resin from cosplayshop.be. The moon shape looks very nice with these rounded gems. I am definitely using these shapes to make the Sailor Moon brooch in the future. Here are the 3 groups of gems I made. Mixing the resin went extremely well. I was able to calculate the right ratios and I didn't waste any material. So in that sense, I am very happy with this first try. Thank you so much for working with me on my journey to learn how to use resin. At the time of editing this video, I have already ordered liquid resin pigments. I will for sure make a video about those. Also expect lots of projects with different types of resin from now on. If you have any suggestions or questions, leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more making mistakes while crafting videos. See you next time. Bye!